the key point is we make the problems that we make them for ourselves, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
nobody made this problem for me, right? People created the technology and the software to help people, not to make problems. Nobody chose to be here in this position today, except me. Nobody forced me to be here. So I think it's really interesting that the problems we have are the problems that we actually subconsciously choose to have because for some reason they make us feel better. And everyone needs to, and crazy as it sounds, right? That people say, I don't want to be in this situation. But
But you
wor-
are.
yeah, words come very easily to people. They don't think very much about what it is that they're saying because when the person says, I don't want to be in this position, they're just really trying to persuade themselves that they don't want to be in this position. Most conversations are conversations with ourselves, even when we're
Hmm.
in a room with other people. Most conversations are a conversation with ourselves because our aim is to persuade ourselves, and once we persuade ourselves, everything is okay. Yeah? Like when we like when we teach people, or we have a room full of kids, we're teaching them our values, what we consider to be important. So that
Ah,
we're
I read that in a book.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we're teaching them to be us basically,
Mm-hmm.
and and even if our words are different, it's our actions that matter. Yeah, even if our words are different, it's our actions that matter. And I read a quote about that this morning, actually, strangely enough. And I actually screenshotted something on LinkedIn because I thought that's relevant and that's important. I'm going to need that. And so let me find the screenshot here. Do you know today
Sorry.
is just like the strangest day ever? I know that I screenshotted it, I double checked it, and I've just opened
And it's
my
not
pictures on
there.
my phone and it's not there. I know that I screenshotted it on this phone and it's not there.
On this
Also,
phone.
when I Skyped you from my other phone, it just
Mm-hmm.
turned off. The battery was at 100% and the phone just turned off.
Totally, the whole
Totally, the
phone.
whole phone just turned off. The
Wow.
screen went
You
blank
didn't.
and the phone just turned off. No option to go to screenshots. And I know that I screenshotted it on this mobile. Here's my theory. This is my theory with technology. Always have a backup system because technology can sort of fail. So I have, I just have two of everything. So it, this worked from when I started my business.
Mm-hmm.
I went through problem solving. Now my phone wants to jump off the table here for some reason. This is very strange. Yeah, when I started my business, I thought, what happens if my computer breaks down? I thought I will lose everything, so I better have a second computer because I don't want to
Second
lose
computer,
because I don't want to lose
not back,
everything.
not hard drives to to keep everything safe.
Yeah, and most business people who I work with are so happy that cloud systems exist because they don't have to ever worry about losing their data because that was a big problem for businesses in the past. They just back up everything onto the cloud and it's uh, it's there and it's there and it's good. Um, so so when I bought my phone like 2 years ago, and I was really happy with it, and I liked it. I went out and bought another one instantly afterwards, Be, because I'm like, well, and here's the other principle. The other principle that I use is about something is valuable if you are using it. It's not valuable if you're not using it. So let's take an example like a bicycle. A bicycle is extremely valuable when you're using your bicycle. And if you use your bicycle every day, it has a very, very, very high value. And so,
Mhm.
so, so that's how I value everything, right? If you use it, it's extremely valuable. If you don't, it has zero value. And I think that's true with everything, right? Um, so I try to use only things that have extreme value. This means that I use them all the time. So
Mhm.
the highest value object that I own, and this is object, right? It's not really very important personally, but as an object is a phone because I use the phone for communication, for
Doing
social
the
social media posting, making videos, making audio, keeping in touch with people. In fact, I use it for everything except a phone because I hate
Mhm.
phones. Because I hate phones, but I realize the phone is not a phone anymore. It's a computer in your pocket, and so I have no problem investing £1,000 in a phone because if I use that phone every day for 2 years, that's like £1 a day, right? £1 a day,
Mhm.
and
Not
that's good for having the best of the best. If you want to have the best of the best, if you're prepared, I'm prepared to invest £1 a day in something like that because I think it's good. And if you break down the investment into what is the smallest value related to how I use that object, yeah, and how much more do I have to invest in it? Like I don't have to invest anything more in it. It doesn't cost me any more. I just buy it and I work it out like, is it if I have it and I use it every day for 2 years and I'm prepared to pay £1 a day, it's like it pays for itself, right? It pays for itself. Now, if you compare that to things that drain our energy, like cars, for example, they drain our resources. Yeah.
Mhm.
So the moment you buy a car, first of all, instantly goes down in price. Secondly, you have to input fuel and maintenance costs and road taxes and lots of other stupid things. Yeah, into the value of the car. So so it might be that you can, if you need to use it every day, then it has high value. But there's also the negative side of how much extra you have to invest in it. But if you use it every day, it still has high value. So, uh,
well, have to charge it with the power. The battery
mm,
has to be charged, and then you have to
yeah,
sign a contract with a mobile operator, or you have to have kind of
yeah, don't,
connection.
yeah. Well, don't. I think the best thing to do is not to sign a contract with a mobile operator to buy a phone and then to get a
Mhm.
pay-as-you-go card because then you pay for what you use. I think that's the best way to do it. And also, when you pay as you go, you end up paying more, right? If you want to buy the phone, it's 600, but if you want to pay as you go, you end up paying 800 or something like that. You always end up paying more in that kind of situation. Um, it's always best to buy something outright and own it than it is to pay it off in installments. But if you've only got the money to pay it off in installments, then it gives you the opportunity to have something you otherwise wouldn't have, which is also another benefit as well. But here's another example, right, to understand it. Skis, right?
Ski.
So you buy a pair of skis. I don't know, maybe it costs you $200 or something like that, right? How many times do you go skiing? How much do you use them? I don't know. The
Mhm.
the average person maybe 10, 15 times a year.
Mhm.
So
Phew.
so you're not
Mhm.
getting the value of the investment back. You might get the value of an experience, but you're also investing in an experience that's going to cost you more money. And we go back, and that takes us back to the percentage principles that we talked about before, which are that if you live a
Mhm.
scalable lifestyle, then you
Enough to
then
live your life, but
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
then you don't get in the trap of, okay, I bought the skis and I have to buy the ski poles and I have to buy the ski clothes and then I got to buy the ski ticket and then I got to buy the goggles and the gloves and invest in everything else and you end up only ever having not having a higher quality of life, but only ever having the same quality of life because your hobby that you invest in still consumes the same amount of resources, and that's sort of why um, people make the mistake of thinking that every hobby has equal value. No, it doesn't. It's about how much you invest and what you get out of it. Yeah.
Mm.
At the same time, and it's crazy that I can't find that image because I know I screenshotted and saved that image in my phone earlier.
It was his phone, not the other phone.
This is just I can't even believe that actually. This morning is a series of I don't believe anything that's happening. It's just all very weird. But there you go. Um, life is a series of impossible dreams,
Impossible dreams. Mm.
knitted together by an old lady sitting in a rocking chair in a small cottage on an island somewhere. There we go.
And laugh.
Uh,
Mhm.
and she's very happy doing that. There you go. And that's things. Um, yeah, I wanted to share that quote with you, and it's not
Oh,
there.
do you remember? Okay.
Um,
When you find it, just send
well,
it
I'm not.
through
I'm not
Facebook.
going to find it because it's not there. It's actually not in my phone. I screenshotted it and checked it. It's saved in my phone, and now I've opened my phone and it's not in my phone. You would think I've just clicked all content in my phone, and it says there's nothing from today. There's a button that says all content. This is nothing from today. Um, it's not the technology that makes the mistakes. It's the people. All right, using the technology.